I don't know if you ever even talked to this chap, because it seems that so many people never did. Lance Storm told a story very recently that when he went back to WWE for a few months just before COVID hit, he was doing the backstage producer agent role. And he said that even though he heard this next fellow on his headset occasionally, he never met Kevin Dunn, the director, producer, basically the second most important person in WWE, WWF, for the best part of 40 years now. So Kevin Dunn is officially done with WWE as of 31st of December. Now we can talk about the politics of why he may be gone or why otherwise, but we don't know. So there was a memo sent out by Nick Khan saying after 40 years, Kevin Dunn helped build WWE, etc. He joined before WrestleMania 1. There's stuff about other kids his age were playing Pac-Man, and Kevin Dunn was, working on the road and breaking his back to help build our company, and just how grateful officially the WWE and everybody else is to have Kevin Dunn for that many years, and now he's riding off into the sunset. First off, any memories at all of Kevin Dunn that you know of? Did you actually speak to him at all?
Worked with him, yes. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he seems like almost like a mythical figure that barely anyone ever saw backstage, but maybe in the mid-90s he was a bit more personable.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. He was when I was there as Dean Douglas, and I'm sure I met him. What was his first year? You say 91?
His first year was before WrestleMania 1, so 84, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I was saying that in my memory, it seems that I remember him being around in 90 when I was there, 90, 91.
Yeah, he will be.
But when we were launching the Dean Douglas character, if you recall, I told you that for the first several months, I was just going to the studio on Sundays and recording video vignettes. And he was one of the people that when Vince had walked out of the room, said he liked the way that I had done that last one better, as everybody in the room did that day. And that's 199%, every single person, hair, makeup, lights, cameras, Jim Ross, Michael Hayes, Stan Lane, Mike Dunn, Kevin Dunn, they were all there. Also the same thing. And as soon as Vince came in, we review Vince. I found personally in the bit that I worked with him, doing those vignettes in that kind of an episode for the fans that can remember talking about that. I found him to be very uninspiring. Working with the likes of Dusty Rhodes or Bill Watts or Paul Heyman, these very prodigious. It's renowned, my stories about these guys. I can tell you the bad side of these guys, but I also the yin and yang. I will also give them credit for the things that I learned from them. And I can honestly say I really never learned anything from Kevin Dunn. And working that closely with somebody, we would do 5, 6, 7 of these vignettes per weekend. And, for somebody that was supposedly so hands-on and everything, I saw none of that whenever I was there. Now, that's not to say that he wasn't prodigious in other areas and with other talents. Me personally, I had seen very little. He was just sort of somebody there taking up space. He never once, as I recall, came in and said, hey, maybe try doing it this way instead of that way, or hey, don't forget to look that way. There was never any of that kind of hands-on.
Well, considering he's a director as well, you'd think So would he, when you were doing these vignettes, would he actually be there overseeing them in some portion, or would he not even be there? He'd be there.
Yeah, he'd be there. Yes. Okay. Yes. Be in the room, and again, when you're launching a character, regardless of where they plan on that character being. Vince had laid it out to me. This was going to be the top heel position. So I would have thought a lot of hands-on with guys like Kevin. And I'm sure he probably gave me some direction somewhere. In my memory, I can't honestly say that I recall him doing that. And those things that, for great directors or great promoters or bookers, it sticks out in your head. It may stick out because it's negative or positive, but it sticks out that the interaction and like for instance, Vince, I remember one time coming to me and saying, and using a word try to think of the exact word. I was using a general word that was used for things, and for people, the word would be personable, personify, or epitome. That was the word. I was using epitomizing, and Vince corrected. And from that day forward, I've never forgotten that. It's always stuck in my head. The impact that kind of stuff can have might be seemingly innocuous at that moment in time. But those great directors, you watch these great actors and stuff talking about like the Scorsese's or, these different great directors, and you'll hear them give this glowing thing that they've learned from these people that they, and working underneath them. And I can honestly say that there was never anything that Kevin Dunn for me had ever done that came in that seemed impactful on my career or something that I hadn't forgotten. He seemed almost subservient to Vince. Like he would wait for Vince to weigh in, then he would weigh in the few times that he would. And that was sort of like the ongoing joke in the dressing room at the time was, the director that doesn't direct. I remember hearing people say that all the time. And at the time, I think I was taking it more like he's giving me the benefit of the doubt. Like he knows I can do a promo, so he's just staying back out of it. But I can honestly say, and I don't mean to be mean on it, when I say uninspiring, I can't recall a single time that Kevin Dunn came to me and said, hey, Dean, hey, Shane, hey, Troy, try this instead of that, or let's go for this or whatever. Very, very lackadaisical, hands off.
Did you know at the time how important he was in the company, or because he basically was second in command, essentially? Yes.
Yeah. It was. There was a less than what's the word I'm looking for? A less than favorable nickname that was pretty often used, which was Chipmunk. Hey, have you seen Chipmunk? Is Chipmunk around? And I think when you give somebody a kind of name, like there was a Flounder in high school, right? Flounder is not the kind of like name. Hell, I will get named Flounder someday. It's and I don't think Chipmunk is another one of those. But he, it's. I'm sure just the fact that he was there that long and everything. A lot of fans watching. Oh yeah, but he was responsible for this or that. I'm unaware of any of that stuff, but I'm sure it must be there. He wouldn't have been there that long.